Yeah, I just want to make sure this is going well. I'm making a video. I don't know if it's going to go up or not. I'm Margaret in Windsor. I was kidnapped in 41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, USA. I'm 80 years old. I've been putting up videos to tell my story. It's the only outlet I have. Since August the 3rd, 2013. Before this, it was Facebook. March, April of 2012. I sent and I uploaded 4 to 5 every day. Since then, not hardly a day I missed without it being at least 1 or 2 or 4 or 5 is more like it. Right now, I can't upload. And I'm beginning to understand why. And my mom's Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, Windsor, from Madison, Wisconsin. My dad is Edward VIII, who was a good guy, and history leaves him so crucified. A good man who loved his country, wouldn't sell out to the Illuminati, which his brother did, George VI, so they installed him, the Illuminati, the global government. This is the United Nations now, so it's in place. After they took my father out and kidnapped me in 1941, I was born in 39. So Elizabeth, if that's even Elizabeth there now, that's illegal. They should be arrested, locked up. They're traitors. And that doesn't go for all the Windsors and all. I know there has to be some that help me, and I know that the German, well, the Windsors are of German ancestry. I know that the Germans were there to help me a lot too, but the Brits hung in there, the real Brits. If you don't like what I'm saying, I don't like what's been done to me, but I don't have any say-so right now, except on YouTube. Right now it's been shut down. My internet access. I'm watching what is it, edition, and I know it as well as I know. I'm just upset watching it all and what's been done to me and my children. Well, anyway, it's on television. I was watching it, special edition or something. I've forgotten. I watch it all the time, But anyway, I was watching it. Plus, it's the main news. Like this morning, it's like Meghan Markel is this. I don't know what if I made certain comments like she's this. Um, and really, I don't have anything against Meghan Markle. Only she um, married Harry, and Harry's probably not even a Windsor, and um, that's an illegal lineage. And I think what I'm trying to say here too, I know it. I am with watching the media and what I put up on video, and God knows I hope they haven't been able, because they've hacked my phone. Well, this is cute. My phone was off the hook here. Wonder who I'll listen in here. Well, anyway, it wouldn't matter whether they could hear me there or not. I'm sure they know what I'm putting up on my videos, don't they? Oh, that's the problem with all of it. There's a few good souls out there, and that's all I'll say right at the moment. The problem here is my dad did not marry Wallace Simpson. He was married to my mom. And double married Wallace, an imposter, and there was more than one. And they went out and did all this dirty behavior that was blamed on my father. It wasn't my father. They did my father in. And my mom and me. And my children, who are heirs after me, not William and Kate, and not Harry and Meghan. The point I'm making is, there's people going to take up, it doesn't matter what, and that's what really gets me, if this ever ends the way it might. And I'm not saying anymore. I've probably been told a lie about one thing, but all the rest, and I've never put that up, so the rest of it is true. I know that, but this part is the only part that would make the difference in all this and make some justice happen. Anyway, Megan, I've put up videos, if they haven't been destroyed, on YouTube. And that was up. I'm not even going to go into it again because it really matters, but it doesn't matter, into how I've been treated. And if you ever were able to get the Illuminati press to force them out or force them to tell the truth and compare the real monarch, me, because my father had made arrangements for when he was forced out. He never meant to leave. That if he had an heir, the heir would inherit, and it was all legal. And that was me that was born. Then they had to get rid of me. So they kidnapped me, brought me to Moulton, gave me the name of a twin. I have to use that name, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I'm married to Childers. And my sons, Mark and Scott, are the grandsons of the greatest man, as far as I'm concerned, that ever lived. And my mom, I don't want to leave my mom out, the O'Keefes out. Great people. Now back to this. If there's ever a comparison showing my life, and that involves the people that did this to me. And let's take an example. There's Elizabeth and the whole brood, how they flaunt it, the jewels, they stole it. They represent the Illuminati that tried to take down the British Empire and the UK and kidnap the real monarch and bring me over here and pretend that your friends have a special relationship with the Brits. Well, that special relationship is that you took down the king and you kidnapped me, and I'm over here, everything dirty and vile in the book done to me and my children. If you showed my marriage and a learner dress that's the equivalent of Walmart cheapie, and my mom and dad weren't there, but they made this big deal about Meghan Markel's father and all this. And she's an American. What was it they said this morning? And they were all, it was devoted. You should see the network news. And then they had this special, I don't know if it's a special, it used to be who was it they just fired? What's her name? I can't remember her name now. She left Fox and she was on NBC, had an hour program, and she was pretty good. I mean, really, but they fired her for a comment that now they're going after the governor of Virginia, where I am here. Anyway, I'll be accused of rambling and all this, so let me get to the point, I suppose, in all this. Is how the United States and part of my own people, I'm talking about, when I say my own people, I mean Winston Churchill. His wife was an American. And she had nothing to do with my beautiful mom. They were friends of Eisenhower, who was the general then president, and Truman president, and Nixon and Kennedy. Kennedy and Nixon. Kennedy was part of my kidnapping. His father was made ambassador in 36 by Roosevelt, the president, for the reason of taking down my father. And they had a blast with me. Oh, yeah, and his grandchildren, my sons. Now, I just want to turn this to, if they ever compared my life and you could show it to the world and then show what Elizabeth, who's the Illuminati, and then Meghan. Let's just skip to Meghan Markel and how she's treated. Now, I'm the real one. I'm sitting over here in poverty and crimes you can't even get to. And my children, what was done to them, the real heirs. Now then, you have to put up how I was treated and then show how she's treated would be a good example. She flew into New York, into the Big Apple. And by the way, in all this cryptic stuff, apple means something in it. Plus, I'd been up in there and tried to go over into Canada. Well, I love Canada. That's not it. I'm laughing because I'm laughing at trying to get through this. Anyway, I just want to put this. The entourage that came with Meghan Markle, a couple of days ago now, I guess, and she's about to go back. She had a baby shower by all her friends. Oh, my God. Tonight, you should have seen it on the news. All the security, all the pomp and posh, and all these friends that just couldn't get enough of trying to get around her. And then you had this poor lady from the UK that tried to say something I guess they didn't like, and she was shushed and backed up. Now then, I'm just going to get a bit of it. I'm going to quote, and I may have misunderstood it. I don't think so. Maybe it was more. It wasn't any less. The penthouse in the most posh hotel, motel, swank, they say, $7,000 a night. I've been made homeless and sleeping in shelters and up on the Appalachian Trail, freezing and starving. And that doesn't get to the crimes and suffering and pain that have been done to me and my sons here. Then the total bill for it was, what'd they say? I wrote that down too, and now I can't find it. I think they said $200,000 was the trip. So I believe that some of that's supposed to be paid by her friends. Well, her friends were beyond belief. Somebody asked me the other day, where were my friends? Well, they were the Brits, Germans, and some Americans, but most of them just told. I mean, how do you think this all happened to me? A certain agency helped the Brits, I believe I'm right, or I wouldn't be alive, but the Brits were the ones. Do not get me wrong. If this is ever told, wow. The British are coming, the British are coming. I hope to God they do. Now, where was I? She's got all these friends paying for this shower, and if you ever see what was done to my children when they were born, God help us all. Okay, now then, you had Serena, I believe it was Serena Williams that came over with her, and a couple of other, some other kind of stars and all this. They're her friends. And all this that went on up there, the money, they were telling about the posh places there. They showed the dining room, I believe it was, and it was all this just money, money. I've been lucky to eat, but the suffering, the out and out torture done to me and my children is beyond belief. And me sitting here saying it on video, some people have been nice. A lot of people even on YouTube were not nice. They called me names and everything in the book. I've had people right here in Atlanta. The crimes were done in Huntsville, Alabama, Moulton, Alabama, and here in Virginia. I also realized that Virginia was probably supposed to be a safe place for me to be. It's a Commonwealth state. It's been hell my life, as in most people met me with, you find out what people are like when you meet them one-on-one and you're not wearing a crown. You're telling them about mind control murders and about being kidnapped and what was done to me. And I've had them right in my face say, I don't care. Shut up. I don't care what happened to you. I believe you. I just don't care. You'd have to see it to believe it, I suppose. And that's not really true either. I couldn't make the mess up. So the only way that it's ever done to make it a little bit right is if you show how they're treated. And I'm talking about Elizabeth, how they're accepted, and how Meghan Markle, she's America's princess. Do you know how that sounds? Maybe to the world, if there's any fairness left, is she's America's princess, Meghan Markle. She's not even really a princess. I'm the Queen of England. My mom was an American, an O'Keefe, a nice family. My father was an honest man that was, I don't want to use a word that might get me if I ever get back on YouTube. YouTube didn't have anything to do with this, what's going on here with the phone. Anyway, I'm going to quit here and hope and pray it's shown how crooks, the biggest heist that's ever happened, took over the UK so that they could take over the British Empire, and the Americans have the real queen over here, and my children born in a life of hell. And I hope that all of you that said all these things and did all these things, and half of them are dead, but hey, you believe in God, so leave it up to Him. You may not like it. If God's supposed to be this just and fair person, if you ever are made to watch what's been done to me and mine, what, you going to tell Him you're sorry? Don't tell it to me. You can't take back what you've done. You meant to do it. Over and out.